1. Times of an emergency. Many will go their entire lives without getting into a fight and see that as just as why martial arts are useless for them. Of course, ignoring the physical benefits, confidence, and good biomechanical skills that they can teach. But what about the one situation where one does need to fight? Then knowing this would go a long way. Even to use a non-violent example, many go their entire lives without getting a flat tire, but it still might be nice to learn how to change a tire. 2. Saving money or other resources. Another reason why is that paying for services or items might get somewhat expensive. One can pay for another individual to put up a wooden fence, or they themselves can do it. But by doing it themselves, they might be able to save some money. 3. Might be valuable to others. Sort of an extension of the first one. But occasionally these skills might be valuable to others. Example: if one was a regular gym attendee and was approached by someone new to exercise about the correct way to perform a deadlift, it would be nice to give them the correct instruction. Although the same applies to many other skills that wouldn't traditionally be considered to be manly. 4. Maintain your strength. Is this a skill? Well, you have to learn the nutrition and methods to do so. Therefore, I would call it a skill. You must not become a beast of a muscle man, but having a healthy and distinctly masculine form not only helps in our relationships, especially with women, but keeps our hormone levels at healthy levels, which relate to most of the things in our life. 5. Be successful to maintain confidence. I know most people measure success with finances, but that is not what I mean. Learn how to accept failure and how to learn and grow. Learn how to revel in the small successes to produce larger successes. The confidence you earn within yourself will come out in your personality. 6. Understand women. Learning and respecting the differences and applying them to everyday life is a difficult skill to learn. Not what women tell you, but how they really are. 7. Be a good father. If you end up as a dad, learn how to be a good male role model and how to raise your children as a father. You may be surprised what being a good father really is. Note, it will never be what a woman tells you it should be, because it often goes against what being a good mother is. Building on skills like this will reflect positively in every part of your life. Often life doesn't give you a chance to have different periods, like, oh, I am going to have fun for a decade and then get one of those big office jobs afterward. It's best if, like anything, you find a balance. Find a career you enjoy as much as that's possible, and be sure to set aside time for relationships and travel as well. Save a % of your pay as soon as you start working, and try to complete any advanced training, education when you are in your 20s and have the energy and time for it. Also, always try to be thinking of what's next. Don't just take a job because it's a bump up. Think about where you are going to go next from that job. Also, something you seem to learn when you get older is don't stress about every small detail. Nothing is perfect and life goes on. You will probably change careers or jobs at least a few times in your life, so there's no reason to stress about every small detail, most of which you can't control anyway. Plus, most managers see calm under fire as a great benefit in an employee. Here is a story of a guy who made it to the top through pure hustle, by being friendly and having a good work ethic, and learning from books whenever possible. I went to college, got a useless degree, and then worked at various restaurants, retail, and similar places. I ended up in a call center. In every place, I was always started at some demeaning position, which most people would hate and slack off and get weeded out as a result. Instead, I would kick ass to the best of my ability. I always showed up early and left a little late. I did what my bosses asked, and a little more if I could. I always offered to help them. Every job I worked at, I was able to get a written letter of recommendation, and they were all glowing. Briefly, after being at a dead-end job, a friend called me and asked if I wanted a job as a help desk manager. I took it. It was a nightmare, but I worked 14 hours a day and made everything work. A while later, a different friend called me and asked me if I wanted a job in programming. I knew very little of what was needed but accepted the job because compared to my help desk job making $33K divided by R, the $130K divided by R they were paying was a modest increase. Oh, I gave my job 2 weeks notice and went home every night and taught myself the programming language. I worked diligently as usual and took other similar jobs. At the height of my career, I was making $190K divided by R. People called me all the time asking me to hire me. After nearly 20 years, I am still making 6+ figures, working from home, married, kids, happy, all that. Looking back, the most important thing that helped me was self-improvement books. I devoured everything on being a better man, being better with finances, better with friends, a better programmer, better manager, and so forth. I even bought books that I felt at odds with because I wanted to understand the other perspectives in the world. Being able to stay connected to friends was arguably the most important life skill. Even when I was not qualified, people would recommend me because they liked me.